Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump trying to cut more funding and surprising opposition. On Thursday, Trump tried to revoke $4.9 billion in congressionally approved funding. He informed Congress he would be using what he's calling a pocket rescission, which is a cut to funding that occurs so late in the year that it happens without congressional approval. Reminder, Congress, not the president, controls the budget. There are two major issues with Trump's move. The first is the legality and constitutional issues. The next has to do with the upcoming budget negotiations in Congress and the possibility of a government shutdown. Let's start with some of the legal and constitutional issues. The top Republican on the Senate Appropriations Committee called it an attempt to undermine the law. The Republican chair said, quote, "Article 1 of the Constitution makes it clear that Congress has the responsibility for the power of the purse. Any effort to rescind appropriated funds without congressional approval is a clear violation of the law." She then said, quote, "Instead of this attempt to undermine the law, the appropriate way is to identify ways to reduce excessive spending through the bipartisan annual appropriations process." So, who is this Republican senator calling Trump out on his unconstitutional behavior? Susan Collins of Maine. I can feel the confused faces from Democrats. Let me add something else in case you missed it. Collins was heckled with the chants of shame at her last event. She's starting to realize that her seat isn't safe because of Trump's policies. Concerning. If you're wondering if she's right about the constitutionality of Trump's move, there will be a reading of the Constitution below. The short answer is that the president is supposed to do what Congress tells him. Now, let's get to the pragmatic and political issues. It's about time to try to avoid a government shutdown and pass new spending. Congress will negotiate that package. Republicans need Democratic support, but if Republicans allow Trump to simply cut anything he wants, regardless of what's approved, there's no sense in the Democratic Party negotiating or even keeping the government open. If this stands, Trump will ignore the Constitution and simply cut Democratic spending priorities, meaning that Democrats voting in favor will simply be voting for a Republican budget. Their voters won't be happy about that. Schumer said, quote, "It is clear neither President Trump nor congressional Republicans have any plan to avoid a painful and entirely unnecessary shutdown." He went on to say, quote, "Democrats stand ready to work with anyone to help American families, lower health care costs, and secure our communities. But if Republicans are insistent on going it alone, Democrats won't be party to their destruction." This is the clearest signal yet that Democrats are ready to allow Republicans to shut down the government. If the government shuts down, it will be through the Republican Party's own actions of ignoring the constitutional framework and not producing a bill Democrats can sign on to. Trump just wandered into Congress and flipped over the budget negotiating table. He might have created a government shutdown. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.